Now, but I got to ask you guys a question, okay?
We're live.
We are recording it live, Maria.
Starting off with a
That's
question.
okay. That's okay. It's not, it's not anything like that. I notice every morning, like I go on this, but I notice, like I was looking at your email and you have different departments. Does that mean, like, truly I shouldn't be going on this? Because if I shouldn't be, that's okay.
Maria, so I got to tell you, like every talk show has a good guest that comes on and lightens up the mood. And I think right now you're stepping into that role. And I really appreciate you being on. If you could just guide the people through what you're cooking on a daily basis, you are welcome.
The producers,
I'm not even kidding.
The producers did a test. They did some surveys, and you are by far the favorite guest. And I liked it. So
All right.
It's true. It's true. No,
yeah,
it's
so you're right, Maria. Actually, Miss Pagliari was talking about making her own pizza, but using frozen pizza dough. I'm wondering, do you make your own dough?
Yes.
You make your own dough?
It's so simple. It's really simple.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of honey, like a spoon of honey, a cup of warm water, and a packet of yeast.
Honey,
and
really?
Just stir it up. Let the yeast dissolve. It'll start to bubble and get kind of frothy. And then you just add flour until it's like a good consistency. And then, pat it down, put it in another bowl that's greased, cover it with the dish towel and let it sit there till it doubles.
Maria, you just complicated my afternoon.
Can you write this out?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Can you put those directions?
Simple. And like if you do
I
like
just wrote it down.
9 in the morning, the afternoon, it's all good, and just do whatever you want to do.
That's amazing. I think you're going to need to put those directions on the classroom, but we'll figure that out. And thank you for the picture yesterday. I put it on the classroom of the meatballs. Was that yesterday you were making them?
Yeah, yesterday I made them.
So I'll get them in the mail tomorrow. When will I get them?
Joy made it. No, we had dinner last night.
Yeah. Well, Maria, you inspired me because I made a pot of gravy, meatballs, sausage, and the short ribs yesterday.
Oh, that's so good, right? You know what my mother used to put in? I don't put it in. And she stopped at some point, and it adds so much flavor. She used to take like a pig skin, and she used to put cheese and basil on it and roll it up, tie it up, and put it in. It's a lot of flavor.
Yeah, my husband's grandmother did that. What is that, Gogota?
I don't know what it's
like that.
Used to do that. It is. I don't do that. I don't do that.
Good morning.
Clogged arteries on a stick.
Good morning, Ruthie.
Hey, Miss Vegas, hey.
Ruthie, we're starting off with a cooking lesson from Maria right now.
Oh, awesome.
We need cooking with Ruthie too, though. What did Ruthie make today?
Yeah, Ruthie, what did you make last night?
I had two back-to-back Seders.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Virtual or
we had everything. Brisket, turkey, blah 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 blah, all that stuff. Kogo. All sorts of Jewish delicacies.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm starting off this Good Friday very hungry now all of a sudden. Our only cooking story, and I guess I got to give Salvaggio a shout out a little bit. There's not a lot of drinking that happens in my house, and there's also no yeast anywhere that you could buy. So when you put those things together, let's just imagine maybe a staff member in the business department gave me a gift at the end of last year that was beer, and it's in my fridge still. So we used that for yeast and made bread with beer this week, and it was awesome.
That's
so
cool.
Good. Yeah, we had looked up like how are we going to make yeast, and then there was a recipe with beer, and we made it happen. It was unbelievable. Perfect. And of course, the alcohol, for those students wondering, the alcohol cooks out. It wasn't an alcoholic beer. Please.
Do you know you can also use beer to make beer battered fried chicken?
Yes.
Awesome.
Maybe not. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a kind of casual Friday. It is Good Friday. Happy Passover. Enjoyed today. And let me look and see what other kind of holidays we got going on or other specialty days are on the funny calendar. So today is April 10th. Oh, this is good. So today is Encourage a Young Writer Day.
Wow.
Encourage a Young Writer Day. And then it is also April 10th. Is today National Siblings Day? Usually that's like all over Facebook. I'm on Facebook right now. Has anybody seen the tag of all siblings?
My sister hasn't tagged me in anything yet, so I'm assuming no. That's usually what she does.
Got it. She's like, oh, my baby brother, I love him. Is that what happens?
In a way, in a sense.
Yeah.
Did you know that also this day, in 1912, the Titanic began her maiden voyage?
Excellent. And in
I did
1925,
know.
The Great Gatsby was published.
Yes,
Mm,
in
There you
1930,
go.
synthetic rubber was developed.
interesting. All right. Well, we got a lot of good stuff happening in on April 10th.
And in 1970, Paul McCartney released his first solo album.
There you go. What
Wow.
website are you looking at? I mine is not as filled as that.
I've been meaning
I
to
got
ask you
this
which
from
site you're getting your
Mr.
stuff from.
Mr. Leonetti sent us something.
Oh, right, he did.
In
I didn't
truth,
open it, but he did.
I asked somebody to help me with this, and they did it. So how's that? I'm just flying by some of our clerical support that helped me put together this list. So is that honest enough, Joe?
You don't admit that, but
You don't just
Yes.
know this
Well,
information?
you did put me on the spot. Like first, you literally said, "I've been curious. How are you
least
getting
make
this
something up.
information?"
at least make something up that's better.
Thanks.
I don't like your
appreciate
mug
it.
And who
today,
would
by the
know?
way. Where's your mug?
By the way, I had a story about this mug. This mug is keeping me going. Check it out.
That's the one from Hauppauge.
It's the from Prom, but check it out. So
My dog is
Long
very loud.
Island is home for me, big time now, and it has always been my home. But now, over the last few years, really feel it. I live in Stony Brook, so that's right above the Heart, which is cool. And then Hauppauge is the Heart, so this is like as good of a image that you could find for me. It's beautiful.
That's awesome. And
Bro.
here's my mug.
Joy, there it is. That's got some significance. All right, guys. So let's. We don't have like a ton planned for today, in part because it is no department was invited on today, so we're a little bit going. But I do have a couple of things to convey. Today is my man Gio's birthday. April 10th.
Oh,
Happy birthday, Gio!
Happy birthday,
birthday.
Gio.
happy
Here's
birthday,
fist
Gio.
bumps.
Do you know my daughter babysat for Gio from the time he was born?
No way.
Yeah, Sadie Pincus. Sadie Pincus is a star in Gio's household.
Happy
That's
birthday,
that's
Gio.
awesome.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Gio.
So, guys, Gio, we love you. We appreciate you. I miss you in the morning, my man.
Yeah, we
Every day, we get a little bit of time to spend with Gio in the morning, and it's a special routine. Fun fact: Gio could tell you. Anybody want to finish that story? Like what Gio can tell you about your birthday?
What day it is? Any
And
year.
Day of the week, specifically in any year.
Get out of here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. He's
Yes.
very,
It's so cool.
very good like that.
That's amazing. That
He'll
is
tell
amazing.
you old school calendar.
And Gio can also tell you which subway to take, where to connect, and what bus that you might change over at Jamaica.
Mm-hmm. Gio is
Isn't
the
that
best.
impressive?
Yeah. So happy
Thank
birthday,
you,
Gio.
Gio.
Enjoy it, my man.
Birthday.
And that brings me to, it is springtime. And a couple weeks ago, our English teacher, Andrea Darby, shared that we were trying to find, we had a meeting, and I don't think it was a filmed meeting. And the question was like, what are you finding peace in during this time? And I'll probably end with like a little bit more serious of a message today. But she said she was enjoying March because she never pays attention to March, and just things are coming alive outside. And I thought that was a really powerful message. And then so now we're into April, and yeah, it's been like windy, but the couple days right before it was rainy yesterday were just magnificent. And I just felt like the birds, I'm hearing the birds more than I ever hear the birds. And there's a lot of darkness in the world right now, but just the space that we're in. So that brought me back to like, what are springtime memories that I could go back to in my head that were just incredibly beautiful. So the question for today, I think everybody sufficiently said hello to the world, so we'll just go right to the question. But the like warm-hearted question of the day is, what's a springtime memory you have that like was quintessential spring? Maybe it's a holiday celebration, maybe it's something else, but like, what is that quintessential springtime memory, March and April, where you just felt alive, and you can like go back to that moment and be able to very crisply tell that story? All right, people comfortable with that question so far? So put it in your
Sure.
head, put your answer in your head. And only because we did a little pre-work, Joy for all, I'm going to have you start us out.
Awesome. Okay, so I grew up on a very small beach town, Long Beach Island in New Jersey, and my dad was pastor of a local church. So every Easter, we did a sunrise service on the beach. And after that, we had a big pancake breakfast and an Easter egg hunt on the beach. And that was like my grounding childhood memory. And each time I am on the beach at sunrise, I just go back to that point in time. I can hear the music that we sang a cappella in a circle as we're watching the sunrise, and just feel the warm sunlight and just hope. So that is one of my favorite all-time memories, and happy to share that with you.
That's beautiful. Wait to set the tone here. JW, you got something in particular?
Yeah, the first thing that jumped to mind, since we're right around Easter, was my family. Well, it's not really my family. My grandfather's. He was a part of like an athletic club. My family all grew up and was raised and born in like the Wantagh, Levittown area. So he was pretty involved in a club that ran a huge Easter egg hunt right by his house every year. So anyone that's familiar with the Wantagh area, there's an area called Cherrywood. Right behind Cherrywood, there's a big field on Duck Pond Drive, and his house is across the street. And they used to do the egg hunt there. There were like thousands of eggs they would lay out, and the winner of the egg hunt would get the biggest bunny. And one year, I must have tackled people to get the most eggs because I won and got the biggest bunny. So that was pretty awesome. It was a big chocolate bunny. It's probably the size of me at the time. So
that's awesome.
That was mine. Tackling people and getting eggs to get chocolate.
Good, James. You listening? That's a good strategy, James.
James is listening and internalizing all of this, right? He's checking his hand right now to make sure.
Give him a high five, Joe. He's putting it out.
High five. No, that's his Jedi movement. He puts his hand out and tries to get things to come to him.
Awesome. Christy, what do you got?
So when I was growing up, my grandparents lived in Florida. So every spring break, we would drive down to Florida. And at that time, you didn't have to have seatbelts on. So my dad had a pickup truck. So we would drive down in the back of his pickup truck. And we go down to my grandparents and spend spring break down there. We could walk down to the end of her block and we were able to go fishing. And then we would go to the beach. It was called Coquina Beach, and pick up shells.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Tess or Maria, you want to jump in? One of you guys?
Go ahead, Tess.
Okay. Hi, Maria. I do remember when we were younger going to Northport and having Easter egg hunts there. But that's the only really memory I have back then. I don't remember too much, unfortunately, but my daughter was born in the spring, so right before, around Easter. So we made more memories after that. So that's about it.
Got it. Awesome. Maria, anything?
One thing that I really remember that I really enjoyed was I grew up in apartments. Okay. There was 6 kids, 2-bedroom apartment. Everybody had a lot of kids in all the apartments. And we used to love, like, in the spring when it used to rain. And my kids laugh when I tell them this, because whenever it rained, all the kids in our building used to play house in the stairwells. And I remember it was like we looked forward to the rain, to run up and down the stairs and be able to scream and play house.
All right. Beautiful.
And I remember actually telling my mother this as I, got old. I was in my 20s, and I said, I remember we had a great time. And the funny thing is, my mother said, "You had a great time?" She goes, "Maria," she goes, "there were 6 of you in the apartment." She goes, "We had to throw you all out."
So they got you out of there. That was good. They were like, go play
Right.
in the stairs. It was just their way of staying sane. That's funny.
Right, but for us, it was like a great thing. We would just run up and down the stairs. And then what used to happen was one of the people in the building, the father was a cop. He, every Friday afternoon, when it got nice, he would go out like in the courtyard. And all the kids used to go out in the courtyard, and he'd have like tons of change in his pocket. And he would just take all the money and throw it up in the air. And all of us used to go and just run to like a little scavenger hunt to get the money.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Maria, where was this? In the city somewhere? Where was this?
This was in Howard Beach.
Got it. Beautiful. Beautiful. And Ruthie Pincus, you and I just had like a very kind of spiritual moment for a second, and I'm going to share it with people in a second. But Ruthie, you got a story?
Yeah. You gave me too much time. I got too many stories. Well, the first thing is, opening day of the Cincinnati Reds playing baseball was a big deal when I was growing up. So that was a big deal. And, holidays are always really powerful to me. Any holiday, I like ritual. I enjoy being with family. So having my family around the Seder table and having memories of cooking with my mother and smells and all sorts of, sensual kind of things come back to me for springtime.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. So we didn't talk about this prompt before 8:58, and that's when we decided that this would be the prompt for this session. And so instantly when I started thinking about the question, I went back to Setauket Presbyterian Church, where I was baptized, where my parents were married, and that it's a very important church to my family. And we moved back to Stony Brook, so we're not far from Setauket Presbyterian Church. I didn't go there growing up. We went to another church, but I had this just wave of emotion coming to me, connecting me to that church. And then I thought about my grandmother. And then I realized my grandmother died in April in 2002, and I gave a eulogy there. So I have a document that has a lot of writing that I've done in the past in it. And sure enough, I look at this, and on April 10th, 2002, I gave her eulogy around 9 o'clock in the morning, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. And it was essentially answering this question, which is wild. So I promise you there was no prep to this work. So I'm going to read for about 2 minutes. And the reason why I'm going to read it is because I think we're all thinking about our grandmothers. We're all thinking about people that we hope stay healthy through this. And I think that this piece is like quintessentially kind of connected to it. So forgive me as I read this. I think it just has some relevance. So April 10th, 2002. About my grandmother. My grandmother was the queen of spring, the queen of summer, and in the fall and winter months, her mere presence was enough to make you feel like you were in the heart of summer. She just had this way about her. She's more to all of us than just grandma. She is love, comfort, springtime, the beach, the 4th of July, sea glass, sunsets, the sound, and laughter. But most of all, she is happiness. She was a representation of all things in life, and in her passing, she will be carried on in each of these treasures and many more. She will remain at the core of our happiness throughout our lives, as she gave us all unconditional, never-ending love. She was an example to us in many ways, but perhaps it was her ability to make people feel special and worth caring about that was the purpose of her life's work. And what more can we ask for than to make other people happy and to be happy ourselves? She knew something about living. She knew that a successful life didn't mean that she had to make millions or have fancy cars. Success is measured by the love that you have in your heart and the amount of love people receive from you and you receive from them. She understood this and taught us this as she would sit with her grandchildren for hours at a time, or the way she showed her care for her nieces, her nephews, her daughters, her son-in-laws, her friends, her acquaintances, and even strangers. The amazing thing about her was there was always room to love another person, to listen to a new friend, hug and kiss an infant relative, and laugh with anyone who was graced with the gift of knowing her. In the days since she has passed, these lessons, her life, and what she stood for, has mended our spirits, strengthened our souls, and lifted our hearts. And we now can only pray that our lives will do as much for others as she has done for us. Now, as we think about her in memories, we grab onto images, feelings, and thoughts of her. We close our eyes and try to imagine and feel her presence. Soon warmth overcomes us as the sun beams down on our faces as we look out over the sound and see a magnificent sunset. at the colors of the skies crashing together over the smooth, calm water as there she is in the horizon, smiling at us. With that smile that has greeted us thousands of times before, we realize that with this love, she is giving us the beauty of the sunset whenever we need it. And we smile back and say thank you. We love you, Grandma. So that's my springtime connection, guys. I think I can't believe that was April 10th, 2002. That's a little eerie. All right. Well, there's that. I hope people appreciated that. Let's do something fun now. So pizza toppings. We talked about this before. Curious if we can pivot for a second pretty hard to some pizza. And if people want to just talk a little bit about, we talked about this with a couple of the seniors, a couple of the students this week. As we come out of this, curious what is the pizza that people are going to go to, or if you have a funny pizza story right now, go for it. I know that in our house on Friday nights, it's pizza night, so we're probably either going to order from Luigi's in Setauket or use some of the frozen dough that we bought from them to make some homemade pizza. We got to figure it out. But let's go down the list, and we'll finish with Maria Cattell because I want to hear that from her at the end. Whitehorse, what do you got for pizza?
All right, so we live pretty close to Huntington Village, so we'd like to go to Rosa's, if anyone's been there. My topping of choice would be, well, I like every single kind, so let's just put that out there. There's no bad pizza in my eyes, but I would go pepperoni or chicken and tomato would be my go-to. Put a little hot sauce on there.
Wow, chicken and tomato. All right.
Chicken and tomato is a really solid, delicious treat. So,
I might do that tonight.
You should report back.
I will on Monday.
Thank you.
Joy.
Yeah. So growing up, actually, my grandma, my Italian grandmother, made homemade pizza, which was just unbelievable. And my mom tried to replicate it. Not so great. But our pizza go-to choice in Comac is La Scala. We've been going there for probably about 25 years. Always extra cheese. Stephen Jr. Happens to like these crazy bacon ranch, chicken, buffalo, yada, yada, but I'm an extra cheese gal.
Beautiful, beautiful. Christy, what about you? Cheddar pizza?
Well, no, ricotta and spinach.
Nice.
And we do Friday pizza also. And since the quarantine started, we are now making our own pizza every Friday. So we have not been ordering out.
Got it.
Can we discuss Christy's pronunciation of?
I'm glad you brought this up, Whitehorse.
Because I'm confused.
Well, how would you say it, Mr. Whitehorse? Very Italian last name.
Yes. So. It's ricotta
no, it's ricotta.
It's ricotta. All right, hold on.
I
Maria,
forgot they added the letter G there.
Maria, how do you say it?
Ricotta.
It's not even. There's not
even
an
no
A.
A at the end now either.
There's no A.
Yeah, this is where we are.
I say caramel.
Thank you. I agree. Thank you. It's kind of like caramel and caramel, right?
Right. Right, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Ruthie, that takes us to you.
That's also like Capicola.
Well, Mrs. Ferrara and I share the same pizza spot.
It's Mrs. Ferrara.
Yeah, we frequent La Scala.
We don't put
all
vowels
the time
anymore.
And my family's addicted, but we're really purists. We don't do toppings. We do the cheese, and we're happy.
Good. That's good. It also saves you a lot of cash. My kids are like, and this. I'm like, guys, every one of those things is like another $4, please. Tess.
We go to Amici's in Selden, but to get an amazing Sicilian, we go to Carnival in Port Jeff.
Yes.
But my husband does make a killer pizza. I'm his sous chef, so I'll get everything ready, and he does make a really good pizza. So that's my really go-to pizza.
Got it. And does he make the dough as well, like Maria?
No, we're going to try that this year. We're going to try
Excellent.
that. We're not Italian, so we just do the best we can. And go to the Italian stores and buy the dough. But we take we take it from there.
Yeah, we do that as well. All right, Maria, take us home.
I like cheese. I like extra cheese. That's pretty much my favorite. My kids do like all the different toppings and stuff like that.
What? But you make it all? Have you always made it all? Like, what's the story there?
My mother used to make pizza not all the time. I think the reason why we all make pizza, my kids make their own dough. When I was young, I don't know. I mean, this is going back. Do you remember they used to have like the Disney movie or the movie on Sunday nights at 7:00 every once in a while?
Yes,
I'm sure,
I do.
I'm sure that happened.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Some of us do.
Yes, I remember.
Okay.
I remember.
Depending on the movie, my mother used to make pizza. And it was the only time that we had soda in the house and we were allowed to eat in the living room.
Ooh.
And it was always orange soda. And she made this big pig pie, and we could sit and watch the movie and have pizza for dinner. So
That's
I think from that, I kind of became interested in it. And
that sounds magical. Love these memories, guys. This is awesome.
Yeah, watching the one TV that was in the house.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
In black and white, right?
Yes.
Well.
And it was a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I've been recently feeling good. We only have one TV in my house. I was like, yeah, I'm like a throwback here. And then I realized we have like 11 other devices in the house that all do exactly. So it's like, what am I feeling good about? Like, I look around and my 3 kids are spread across the living room, each with their own devices. And I'm like, we have one TV. I feel really good. Silly, very silly. A different world, guys, a different world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you at home, I hope you enjoyed it. Unfortunately, we're having a hard time tracking down the viewership data because Google doesn't do a great job on the live stream. And then so I only get the hits on the views. We're doing all right. We've got 100 views a day or so. Pretty good. But that's before we take into consideration the live following that we have, which I know is plentiful. So that's good stuff. Just to give you a sense of what we got going on next week, we got some more departments coming to the table Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which will be good. I got foreign language on Monday. We have custodians, building and grounds, and nurses on Tuesday, TAs and security on Wednesday, social studies on Thursday to finish off the week. Then during the week, we have Jeff Kramer and company on Monday for lunch. A local senator, Monica Martinez, is joining us on lunch on Tuesday. We have Jamie Edson talking about some things on Wednesday. We're hoping Mrs. Barr can pull together a student group on Thursday, and then on Friday we'll probably have it. So we'll be with you providing content. But just to close out, listen, we are in the epicenter here. Stay positive, stay healthy, but also know that there's a lot of people immediately around us who are struggling and need support and need love, and that this time period is not going anywhere for a short while. So anything we can do to direct our love or our support or our energy or our food towards specific people, and also to energize and support the frontline workers. That's what we got to do right now. So keep it going. Hauppauge, awesome stuff, right? That's the center. Go Hauppauge. We'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Love you, Hauppauge.
Very good, guys. That was good. Thank you.